Oh yeah, and try not to move things because
Yeah.
I'll wait because it makes sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast with Natalie D'alacio. We are going to be having a really fun episode. This is all about being fully expressed and sharing kind of your vulnerable side, opening up, and kind of getting over fear and how that leads you in the right path. So, she is an actress, comedian, hypnotherapist, tarot reader, and astrologer. Yes, very multi passionate, and that is awesome. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi. Yes, my name is Natalie. I am all the things that you said. I studied comedy at Second City, and I'm currently on the radio right now on the Michael Yo Show on Sirius XM, performing as a character that I created named Grotto. And I do love astrology and tarot as her. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Yeah.
Awesome. And I just want to tell the people out there that we do not have to fit ourselves in these stupid fucking boxes, and we can be multi-passionate, and that is okay. I think you said earlier that you were trying to be like one thing, right? How did you bust out of that?
Yeah, I definitely for a long time thought that because I wanted to be an actress, that was the only career path I could take. And like, that's like I feel like a lot of actors hold that like weight inside of them. If you're a performer, you're like, well, I can't be anything else because that's not what society says, you know? And like growing up, like everyone, like you have dreams to do all the other stuff too, you know? And I one day I just kind of was like, I hate feeling like I'm split in between like two different types of people. So I just kind of said, fuck it. And
Yes.
yeah, and I just like decided, I was like, oh, I'll play a character that's like in tune with the things I love, which is like tarot and astrology and hypnotherapy. And then like I ended up going to the college of hypnotherapy out here in California after creating the character because it really made me feel like, oh, now I want to be super well rounded. So that's like how kind of it all flew in together.
Yes, and you
Yeah.
guys, I don't know if you know, but I have a festival clothing line. I've been in marketing and now I'm a speaker and I'm in dance, and I will definitely, develop that more when I have more time. But it's okay to have all your different passions. Like we're humans, and it's actually normal to have multiple passions. So
Yeah.
it's good. And you don't have to fit yourself into a box and be like, "Oh, I can only do one thing."
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know you did a clothing line.
Yeah, I have a festival clothing line at staticthreads.com, and it has like, we're going to just go all out freak today. So it has harnesses, it has sparkly hats, it has glam bras, it has like
Oh my
literally,
God.
it was just an expression of myself. And then I made it for myself, and then people wanted it, and so I put it on Etsy, and then I just started getting bigger and bigger. And that's kind of the story that we're going to share today, is when you just follow what you love to do and express yourself, people are drawn to that authenticity and that passion, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how did you start getting into what, chloral and all the things? How did you get into it?
Tarot was where it all well, acting's where it all started, right? So like started acting as a kid, but like that's whatever, that's that story. And then I moved out here in 2012. And so in 2016, so that was like what, 4 years later? Yeah, that long, right? I finally was like, I kind of like tarot.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of want to see what this is about. So I did it in secret. Totally in secret, super private about it. I am a moon in Scorpio, so like secret, secret, secret. I was like, I gotta keep
Yeah, I get that.
it. So I just started doing it, and then I really liked it. I was getting really good at it. I started reading for my friends because like that's where I felt comfortable. It was like not so high stakes, right? No one's paying me. It's fine. It's just your best friend, right? So read cards. We're having like, girl time, and it all turned into like really like healing. It got like really serious really quick, like where it was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, we're actually diving into stuff that I don't know, like I would never talk about on my own. And it's just because I was just relating with my friends doing these cards. So then that kind of just made me want to write a character that could read tarot, because it was like now becoming something I was good at. And like, as a performer, like when you find something that you're good at, you always want to just like kind of throw it into whatever you're doing that you're passionate about, because it makes you feel more well-rounded. So I
Yep.
was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just try this out. So I tried out a video. I threw it up online, and I gave myself low stakes. I was like, one, this is going to be one of many character videos that I do. It was to help me write a pilot, and I didn't know how I wanted the characters to act like, right? So I was like, I'll act online as a character, and if people respond to it well, then I'll like write that character more. Well, I did Chloro. She was the first one, and it was the only one. I never ended up doing any other characters because it got so much hype, and like I got so much attention for it that I was like, oh no, I don't need to try all the other things. And like that's how she did. Yeah.
And that's a good like point, is that you got out of the how and you kind of just took the next action. You took the next action. She wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to do a YouTube video. I have to do it this way. I have to do it this way. Oh my gosh, what's the big like step to do? What's the end goal? Blah, blah, blah. She just took the action.
Yes, exactly.
Threw it out there, followed her passion, and then it led to the next steps, right?
Yeah.
That's literally how my life has gone too, is like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a Facebook ads coach. And then that led me to another passion. And then that led me to another thing. And I was like, am I crazy to like keep changing? But no, it's like literally when you follow your passion, it like leads you down a road that you can shift and change at any time.
Yes. It's so funny that you say, am I crazy for changing? Because I literally this morning just read on Instagram, like this really beautiful like meme. It was like with all these butterflies in different colors. Like it was like a line of them going up and down, and they were like all changing colors. And it said, change has to happen every day. It's just the change, we have to just flow with it. And I was just like looking at all of the butterflies changing, and I was just like, I mean, it's so true. Like, I'm not going to be who I was when I was like in middle school, who I was in high school, who I was my first year in college, who I was when I first moved here. Like even when I first moved to LA, I look at that girl and I'm just like, wow, different person.
Oh my gosh, that's like literally the theme of the day and the week and the month and the year, whatever. But today especially, I was like, okay, my business is changing. And I literally was like, I can't keep doing what I used to do. And it's like, I have to shift and change. I've gotten more spiritual. I've gotten more open. And I literally have to shed my old like business where I'm just helping with marketing because I don't even feel passionate about it anymore. So it's okay to shift and change. But literally every step of the way I felt crazy. Like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't like be different. People aren't going to be able to keep up with me. But literally I kept trying to do the old thing and it wasn't selling anymore.
Right? That's exactly what happened with acting. I was trying to do the same thing of like, okay, I'll just like I'll attract a partner, somebody I could write with, somebody I can have like a 2-person thing with, right? That's what you see on TV. Everybody's like a duo, right? And then all I kept hearing from myself, like inside my heart, from other people, from my mentors, everybody's like, you need to go alone. Like you need to just do it yourself. And I was like, no, like I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't make any sense. And then I just kept hitting a wall. Like nothing would sell. Nothing would like work. Like I would have great ideas, but then they would just like kind of plateau. I would see a huge picture of where something can go, but I couldn't find the path to the big picture. Right. Like that just kept happening. So then I was just like, all right, fuck it. And I just like tossed it in the air and was just like, all right, I have to go solo, which was really scary because stand-up is scary.
Yes.
Stand-up has been the scariest thing I've ever done.
Oh, I bet. Okay, we're going to get into that. But I do have to say, like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So we talked yesterday, and this podcast today is already just epic. I'm literally going in through a freaking shedding, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to let it go. And it's like literally feels like so hard. And I'm like, but I'm not passionate about it. So yeah, this is just very aligned. Like we do, you have to let it go when you're not passionate about it. It's not going to work. I tried to do a coaching course and like all my old ways, and it just didn't sell. I kept trying. And I like kept discounting it, and literally it was ridiculous and it didn't sell. So I'm shedding, I'm changing my business. It's more spiritual. I'm incorporating like dance and sexiness and flow. And I don't know what the big picture is yet, but it's changing and morphing into something.
Yeah. I don't know what my big picture is yet. It's so funny when people come up to me and they'll be like, so what's the next step with Cloro with the radio? Because I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I'm on the radio doing like a show, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm flowing with it right now. Like it's just sometimes you have to just flow and then let the door open for you. You know what I mean?
Yes. And okay, so Biz bestie of mine, she said she calls it the fermentation period, is where
Ooh.
you're just like, you know something is changing. You can't fucking figure it out, but it's like it's fermenting. It's coming to you. It's the ideas are coming and you literally can't push it. You have to allow it to change. So
Yes.
fermentation period is going on right now, even though like I've been trying so hard to figure it out. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe I just need to surrender. I know it has something to do with like sexy side, feminine flow. I think I might do like a workshop in the future for like dancing and feminine flow and goddess. I don't know. You guys on my podcast are the first to hear of this. So like, give me
I
some
love it.
feedback on my podcast. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this like ego workshop in feminine flow. But anyways.
I would go to that. I would go to that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to pole dance, but I've always felt, and I don't know if maybe people might relate to this, but I always felt very like, what's the word? Just, like everybody was like way more advanced at it than I was because I didn't understand how to feel sexy. So like women who would sign up for these classes, sometimes I felt like they were already like eons ahead of being sexy than I was. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So if anybody is listening and they don't know that I'm a pole dancer, go ahead, look me up. It's Sexy Biz Babe on Instagram. I have videos there. I do pole dancing for fitness, and I'm just letting you know, no matter what you start or where you start, there's always going to be people ahead of you, and it's just like learning every single day. I remember my first pole class. I was like, I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have started sooner. But literally, I needed to start somewhere. So I would just go, and each day I remember just wanting to be better and wanting to be stronger was my thing, because it takes a lot of strength. But each time
Yeah.
you literally see the progress, and it makes you feel so much stronger and powerful because it's a very hard sport. So like for you, you would start getting a little more connected and a little more connected as you go, and you'll literally see the progress over time, but it comes quickly. And anyone doing these, this is also for business, this is for a comedian, this is for everything. It's hard at first. It's changing, it's growing, but then always document the progress, because then you can always go back and look at the video and be like, oh my gosh, look how far I've come.
You're right. It's so true. And you see yourself one way when it's like, oh, and you look at the video, you're like, oh wait, that's so different. I thought it looked really dumb in my head. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I always was like, oh, I'll just do it better. I'll post it when I'm better. But I wouldn't have all these videos showing my growth, where when I used to share more, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I've seen you. You've grown so much. You're so awesome now. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I shared my journey.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So Cloro was like kind of, okay, who is she? And what were some of the things that you wanted to share that are different from like your normal life?
Okay. So Cloro is the character's, okay. The character is a love astrologer, Cuban love astrologer from Miami. I'm from Miami. And so she's like the me that never left Miami, so like thank God I got out.
Yes.
She's the fictitious story of Cloro is that she has a boyfriend named Danny. He cheated on her with Brittany Martinez, and so when she finds this out, she posts a YouTube video of her giving readings, and she's like, this is specifically for Scorpios who have been cheated on by Leos named Danny. So you're like, okay, I get it. She got cheated on. So and then the whole reading is me or Cloro being like, oh, well, you guys are going to be together, and then you're going to waste a lot of money on her, and then it's going to be like stupid dates, and you're going to think she's got weird eyes, and you're just like losing it. Like, it's not even like a reading that's like makes any sense, and that was the first video. And then every video after that was like just kind of I was heightening the whole story of it. So like then the next one I was like, I was doing another reading on their date night. And the one after that, I was doing a cleansing on myself because I was like, okay, guys, so like apparently I've been using all of my powers for like negative energy and not using them for myself. So now I'm going to cleanse myself from the fuck boy that chained me down. So I do like a whole aura cleansing and I unfuck myself basically. and then there's another video where like I do a cleansing of I literally dump a bowl of water on myself and I like rebirth. I baptize myself essentially.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
It's so nuts. It's so crazy. Another one is like him and I had gotten back together, but he stood me up for a date. So clearly I'm all dressed up for the date with a glass of wine. And I'm like, hi, everybody. Like, just kind of like, do you know where he is? Because I checked his Snapchat and I checked this and I checked that and he's not answering and blah, blah, blah. And then I get like too drunk and I'm like, okay, guys, so I'm going through something. And then like, that's the video that I like take off and I fly. Right. And at the end of it, I'm standing up and I'm trying to fly and I'm screaming and I'm like flapping my arms like a bird and I'm like, I'm gonna fly, and I'm just like, it's over, like no one's gonna hold me down. And after that, all the other videos were like me performing for everyone, like giving them like rituals for stuff to do with like the full moon, or then I would tell them like what was going on astrology wise, but then I would somehow loop it back to Danny and how like stupid he was and how awful he was and how he like burned me, and then I would go right back to like whatever the theme of the video was. So that's like how it kind of shifted. And then it just, I don't know how, but out of nowhere, I just get an email from Second City and they were like, hey, we have a show for DreamWorks where they're going to be they asked us to send all of our best like favorite performers. If you want to do, we would love for you to do Chloro live.
Okay, that is so awesome. And it was just from like putting shit up the wall and being like, oh my gosh, this is fun. I'm going to do this. And then just kept doing it. It was just following your passion. I love that. And like being like fully expressed.
Yeah. And it was like a weird transition because like, it's hard to say like what she was because she was like, literally, she was my awakening. Right.
Yeah.
So like everything I was going through in life, she was mildly going through, but like through a fictitious world, of like, I just attached this fake ex-boyfriend, but anything I was personally feeling and like really painfully going through, I would just like, instead of harnessing it at home and sitting and moping, I would get dressed as my character and set up my room and post a video.
I love that. And it was like, was it even more enhanced or extra, or you were just like amplifying all the things?
Yes, it was super enhanced. Like the character itself looks different than me. I have like my hair up. I have all these flowers in it, like flower clips. Whenever I perform live, I wear this like tight blue velvet dress. It like goes to my knees, Forever 21, really cute. It's like, it was like the cheapest buy I've ever had. I was like, this is amazing. But her outfits and everything, I feel like they're things I would have worn if society didn't feel like dressing so loud was such a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, but it's great because like when I go perform as her at like the radio show at Sirius XM, I still dress like her. So I don't go as me, like, cause like that would be not true to the character. So I dress up fully as her and I go into the world like this, which has like been super like mind boggling, to be honest, the last couple of months, like new for me. Cause I'm like going and stepping out in like the coffee shop, getting in my Uber, walking into a building with like flowers in my hair, and tight leather pants and like a flower print top. And like, I would wear that sparkly bra, by the way, when you were talking about it. I was like, I might have to
being like very extra and loud and like different and not being stuffed in a box.
Yeah. And then like what was tough in like comedy and acting is like people look at me and they say, well, what are you? And it's like, I get it. I don't look fully 100% Spanish, right? Because I'm apparently too white, right? But then it's like, well, what does that even mean? And then to other Spanish people, they're like, no, you look really, really Spanish. It's like, and it just goes back and forth where I'm like, I get so lost in like, I don't want to fall into anything. And Chloro was like my way of being like, you know what? I am Spanish. This is the way that Spanish people and Cuban people specifically act in Miami. This is a piece of culture. I'm not going
Yeah.
to allow society to tell me that it's too loud, to this, to that. I'm going to be my ethnicity, really loud, really proud. And
Yes.
it ended up opening doors for me career-wise, which is so crazy because my whole life I was taught to like look a certain way that like sort of
Yes.
guess what I was, which is weird to me.
Yes, no, this is literally what I'm here to do, is help women be fully expressed, because we, especially women, I mean men too, go ahead. This is,
Yeah.
this podcast is for women mostly, but it's to be louder, to be fully expressed, like, and to be sexy. Like you said, it was like, it's not society norms to be sexy. And that's
Yeah.
why I combined Sexy Biz Babe, because combining business and sexiness is like, it's very, very, very wrong, or it's like not society, it's not accepted.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bust through this weird norm that is expected of us when we're feminine, and we are naturally sexy. Like, we are naturally beautiful. And so I like wanted to really combine those two things into my podcast. And I'm so glad we like talked about this. I'm trying to come up with like what my next, like, birth my next project, and it's around that. It's like being yourself, being fully free, being too loud or too whatever, and like accepting yourself. Anyways, I'm not sure what that's gonna be, but this is like so aligned what you're talking about.
Yeah, you get it. You totally get it.
Yeah. So let's see, what should we tell them to do if they want to maybe express themselves? Like you did a video. Like, is there any other ideas to like maybe do an alter ego type thing, like how they can have an outlet
Hmm.
for that?
I would say, I love that idea of saying like, alter ego, like, because Cloro is in a sense kind of like an alter ego within me, right? So like she says all the things that I wouldn't really naturally say at first, or I would say it really finessed with like so much nice sugar all over it.
Yeah.
So what I would say to people to do would be pretty cool. And I'm like, maybe when you're home alone and you're doing tasks, or you're like gonna go to the grocery store by yourself and no one's gonna see you, and you've got like 10 minutes to spare like that, maybe dress or say something that you usually wouldn't say to somebody and test how that made you feel in that moment. It's low stakes. You'll never see or meet these people again, right? Maybe if you're at home and you're like, typically at home I wear like, sweatpants and a tank top, right? But you're like, I kind of want to feel a little pretty today. I know I'm not going to bump into anyone, but just like dress up a little at home, right? Or if you dress up all the time, dress down and then go out with no makeup and then see how sexy you feel with nothing on.
Oh my gosh, yes, I've done that before. I used to always like, I didn't want to wear makeup, or I
Yeah.
didn't want to not wear makeup, and I started to wear makeup outside, or no makeup, sorry. I
Yeah. No.
started to not wear any makeup at all, and like I felt I started to build my confidence because I still got similar attention, or people were just as nice. People, you have this weird thing that people are like, oh my gosh, she has acne or scars,
Yeah.
or like she's not ready. She's not a human.
Yeah. I was
So
always
when
judging because I never had a facial wash stuff in my bathroom, and girls would be like, why don't you have this? I'm like, I don't know.
right, like, why do we have to be so perfect in this weird thing? But it made me actually built my confidence, because I was like, okay, like I'm still me without makeup. I'm still like whatever, accepted. And anyways, it like built my confidence and built more love to the pains and the problems that I had. Because if you don't know, I used to have really bad acne, and it still comes up. And so going out with that insecurity like built my confidence, because I didn't get treated differently.
That's so cool. I didn't know you had acne at all. I would never have noticed. Or
Yeah, of
yeah.
course, makeup. But yeah, it's actually healing, because I started loving myself as I was. I couldn't get there to there. I couldn't hate my acne and heal it and be clear. I had to love my face as it was with the acne to clear it up.
Yes, that makes so much sense. That makes
Mm-hmm.
like that is makes so much sense.
And it was so hard, you guys, when you're looking at something that you hate. It is so hard. That was a very learning experience. And I actually did a video with acne, clear, like no makeup, on Facebook, and I didn't mean it to go public. And I just kept going with it. And so many people to this day bring it up sometimes. They're like, you were very vulnerable and open. And it like, it was like to be helpful. And it was nice. It was like letting go of something.
That's huge. That's amazing. I used to be called Fatally Natalie.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I weighed 165, 167 for a long, long time. And then I dropped 50 pounds, which was pretty or 42 pounds. I dropped 42 pounds, which was pretty crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, it was insane. It was insane because people treated me so different but some people were warm about it. Other people were like, do you have an eating disorder? And were asking me if I had a problem for all the weight I lost. And I always struggled with weight like my whole life. It was something that was like, food. I love food. I love snacks. I love sugar. I love, cookies. I enjoy that very, very much. And like, it's just hard to break those habits.
Yeah.
And working out was boring for me for a really long time. I just thought I hated going to the gym. But I learned that I needed to connect with nature.
Yeah.
And I realized that something that also helped me with my alter ego was like connecting to all my elements. So like fire, water, earth, and air. So what I did was, in the process of losing weight, in the process of creating all this, right, I would like spend time in nature, earth, at least once a week. I would do like either like a long bath or go to a pool or visit the ocean, water, right? Or I would like watch something that would make me cry, like emotions, water. Yeah. And then air, I would like read or listen to a podcast of something that challenged me as a person. And then fire, I would attack something during the week that like I really wanted to manifest. And it didn't have to be big things. It could be really like, I'm talking about the smallest things where I would be like, I will eventually this week finally go buy all those candles that I keep talking about at Target.
Yeah.
And then decorate that corner of the house. And it was like, I manifest it. And I feel that doing those like connecting to your 4 elements really helps.
Wow. I actually naturally do that.
That's cool.
That's so cool because I didn't, I would have never looked at it like that, but I feel a time when I have to go watch my Grey's Anatomy to get my cry out if I like can't get it out without it, and then I like let it loose. Yeah, that's so crazy. I love that. And then some days I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go outside. Like actually today I kind of feel like that. I'm like, I need to get some air to get outside and to feel nature and to stop being stuffed inside. So that is so awesome. So you guys, I challenge you to do something like this. That's the homework for today. And I'd love to see if you guys leave a review, maybe what you did to share your alter ego, or like screenshot it, tag us on Instagram. This is really cool. Another thing you could do for the alter ego is go to a class where nobody knows you and be a different person. Like,
oh, that's cool.
Be the person that you kind of feel like isn't accepted, or like be a little bit more extra, or, the opposite of who you are, or more enhanced, whatever it is. Or go out to a bar and be like the extra person or whatever it is, and play around with that. I've done that before and it's really fun. And like you said, feel how it feels.
Yeah. And then let it go. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And it's just like fun. Life can be fun. Life is fun.
Yeah. And then what's fun about it is you keep the things of it that you really liked. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Okay, that's so cool. So you did say that doing chloro was kind of like an awakening. So what do you mean by that?
So it awakened me in the sense that like I was pretty much like I want to say like, not a control freak, but I liked to just have a plan and a control over everything. Like I wanted to at least be like, well, if A doesn't work, B is going to happen. And if B is not going to happen, C will happen.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh, girl, my life. I'm like the legit strategist that's trying to break free right now. And I'm like, well, okay, well, how do I do it? What's the result? What do I do? What funnel do I make? And I'm just like,
yes. Funnel do I make?
No, literally, it's like, okay, I gotta make a funnel. I gotta make a sales page. Wait, I don't know why. I don't know. It's like
That's so funny.
That's my strategy side.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard. And I felt like, because she was so nuts, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my crazy side, and like the stuff that she would do was like everything I did but like amplified. Like, she got cheated on and I got cheated on, right? And so like when she got cheated on, she followed her ex-boyfriend and like climbed down a Ferris wheel, and like I didn't necessarily do that, but I did follow him and then like
Yeah.
eavesdrop him having a conversation with his new girlfriend. But like that's besides the point. Everybody that I tell the whole story to, they're just like, Natalie, you did that? I'm like, I had to know. I was like, I just had to know.
No, it's okay. All of us have been there. All of us have been some weird shit.
I'm like, please, thank you for letting me know. No, like, she taught me that I just like, sometimes I'm a masochist for my own pain and I have to just get out of it and
Oh my
be
gosh.
strong, because I'm way stronger than I realized, right?
Yep.
And to be honest, I really thought I was gonna like be single and alone my whole life. Like after my breakup, I was so like, I sat my family down and I told them, I was like, I'm not gonna have children and I'm not gonna get married. And my grandparents almost cried. And
Oh my gosh.
Natalie, I was like, my mom's like, what are you doing?
Your mom's like, this isn't right. She'll get out of it.
Yeah, my mom did not buy anything.
But you were like soul set. You were set.
I was so set. I was like, it's done. And I realized after doing chloro, I was like, wow, you know what I didn't even realize I was doing was I was really loving myself throughout all of this, which was even why I was saying that I didn't want to love again, because I was like, well, now I love myself so much that I can't let anyone hurt me anymore. And I refused for pain to hit me, and I refused for pain to control me. So I just had to shift my thought and go, cool. Now I know that that's the only reason I said I never wanted to love again, but it's not fair for me in general to be like that, because I'm a human and I love. And when I love, like
Scorpios.
I love. I'm like, I give you all of it. And it's like, that's, why not? Why not do that in my life? Like, if that's what I was built to do, then I should do that to someone.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that. Someone else posted about that the other day. They're like, I fully love, and who the fuck cares? Like, I'm built to do that. Then do that. I'm honestly not. Like, I like my alone time still, and I know I'll have to be with someone that's able to give me some space and like to have girls trips and to like let myself be free. And not saying that you're not or whatever.
Oh God.
But like no. I do like my space, and I'm not super, I don't know. I'm not super attached. But when I've been in relationships that I loved, I really, really loved them. But yeah, everybody lives differently. So just be yourself.
Oh yeah. I always say there's some people that are meant to like live alone and like experience different relationships, Like I feel like personally, I was the kind of person that I went through a bunch of relationships that I wasn't really into at all. I was completely like out of it. Like I pretended like I was into it. Like I thought, like I was like, I think,
yeah.
Then I fell in love, and then that was the heartbreak. So, and I realized I was like, I think I needed that just so I could be like, cool, now you know what it was like for the other people who maybe didn't feel like you were super into it. And I was like, like, damn. I was just like, it woke me up. And then I was like, all right, well then cool. Now that I get that, I'll like love, and I'll love like wholeheartedly, and I won't like hold back. And I realized that I was holding back before because like, it was tough. My parents got divorced, and then that was just, everyone goes through this thing, that was just trauma. Trauma hits, and you just have to heal through it, and that's it.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I've definitely been that person where I'm just like, oh, like I'm in this relationship, but like I don't actually see it going anywhere. I'm just like here because it's nice. Oh, sorry, ex-boyfriends. You're probably not listening, but okay, but that same thing happened, and I really fell for someone, and I was like, Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
I love this.
So
It
funny.
totally spoke to me. And I was like, okay, next time I get in a relationship, like, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm telling them, like, I love them. Like, I'm only gonna be in a relationship if I want the future, which is where I wasn't before. So, like, I'm gonna be opened up. I'm gonna be vulnerable and all the shit. And you know what? I'll lay it on the line. And if my heart gets broken, that's okay. Better than living half-assed, right?
Yes. You're so smart.
Awesome. Okay. So, you said you were kind of going through an awakening experience through like struggles and sharing and being fully expressed. I agree with that. I feel like the other day, if you guys don't follow me on Facebook, I shared something super vulnerable and open, and it literally like cracked up opportunities. And like my dad actually reached out to me, and he was open, and he's never been. And so it was so nice. It was like me being vulnerable and open was awakening me. It was like opening me up for love. It was like sharing myself fully. So I just being your true self is such a healing experience.
Yes, it really is. It makes you feel so, I guess what I always felt was like tension in my chest. And
Yeah.
like just like that feeling like someone's pressing down. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know, not even like pushing you, but just that feeling like someone's always pressing down. So anything I said, any decision I made, everything just felt automatically heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a lot. That was like my life for a couple of years, for
Yeah.
sure.
Just
You
kind
know,
of
and
second guessing yourself all the time.
yeah, and feeling like I had to go crazy in order for me to let go.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, I just can just like let go. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to go nuts. Like
Yeah.
nothing has to be that insane.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
It-
I love that.
yeah.
So why were you afraid to share? 1 second.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, one editing spot.
Can I take a sip of my drink just because I'm a little parched? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to get
I
up.
was like, this will be a good break time. It's nice to just cut off one little chunk, so. Oh, I like this. Okay.
This is okay. I'm like,
Did I already ask you what were some of the things you were scared to share about yourself?
I don't. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think yeah, no.
Okay.
Mm.
Cool. Okay. All right. So I have a couple questions. So what were some of the things that you were scared to share about yourself online or publicly besides, just the sexy side? Like what were some of the other things? And why? Why were you afraid to share that?
I was afraid to share. Hold on. Can you hear that? Very loud. Okay. I was like, my roof just made a very loud noise. Sorry. I was afraid to share. I was definitely afraid to share like my beliefs on like things of life, because I felt like they might be too controversial to what my group of friends or my family had felt, right? I felt different. I felt like a little bit of an alien sometimes when I
Yeah.
would just like express myself. I had different interests than others that just like sometimes you're born into a circle of people in a
Yep.
group society, but you're like not part of it.
Yep.
That was me. I was homeschooled. I don't know if you knew that, but I was homeschooled growing up. And so that also made me feel very different, in general. And I guess like opening up about what my real thoughts were on things, why like that I sounds pretty basic, but that just kind of I feel like encompasses all of it because it really is anything that my true thought was, I wasn't fully expressing because I was afraid what the outcome would be. I was afraid
Yep.
if it just hurt someone or make them think, oh, well, if she thinks this, then does she think this of me? It's like, no, this is just my opinion on this,
Yeah.
And that ended up being like everything I needed to do in order for me to even do this character, because she's the most expressed person ever. And then I was also really afraid of telling my feelings in a relationship to someone.
Yeah.
That was a very deep fear I had. And
Yes.
this character, all she does is profess for love. Like,
yes.
it's so funny.
Oh, I love it. Like, broke you out. Oh, that's so awesome. I've been dealing with that and realizing that as well. And I've been very afraid. This is something that is deep rooted, to like share my feelings with men and how I feel and my honest truth. And so I actually hired somebody that's been helping me with this. And instead of avoiding these conversations, I've been having to have them to express myself and my feelings. And even though it sounds so simple to some people, it was literally like the hardest thing for me. It felt like pulling teeth. Me expressing myself to males, just sharing how I felt, because I had so many past men be like, you're too emotional, you blah blah blah, you're crazy, you're blah blah blah, and then getting defensive and being mean, being degrading. And I had so much of that growing up and so much of that in my life that now, as 29 years old, I'm working on just expressing myself to males. And even this week, I've done it multiple times, and each time is so hard. But then after I do it, most of the men actually have been responding better than I expect.
That's awesome.
And it's like healing and helping me realize, like, it's okay. It's okay to have feelings. Like, it's okay. We don't have to be robots or be this person that's like, we're not too emotional. Yes, we have emotions. We're human. And feminine women have more emotions. We do, and it's okay.
Exactly.
Like, that's our natural humanness.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that you said that you were scared to share yourself and your thoughts and your feelings because they were different, because I know so many people feel like that. And I do too. I always was I wore lime green pants as a kid growing up. Like, everyone wears black, you go everywhere, everyone wears black. I'm always the person that wants to wear the bright colored thing, the bright extra thing. I've always been like that, and I just do it anyways. And I've been that person that tries not to care. I mean, I do a little bit, but that's me expressing myself, and it feels so much more happy and free when I just do it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I found, like, doing like this character, I was wearing the color blue a lot, and I ended up realizing it was my power color. So that was like cool. I feel like if anyone just starts playing with their alter ego, like, see what color you gravitate towards, like, I don't know, do you have a color?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love purple, and I always wear purple, but I feel like my power color is actually red.
Ooh, love it.
So purple's my favorite color. Like, literally, if I were to turn the video, everything's purple. And I have a car that's like purple black. So purple is my favorite color, but yeah, I think red is my power color. Like, I feel powerful and like fierce or sexy. So yeah, I like that. Maybe I should go get some more stuff. More red stuff.
Go do it. Please.
Yes.
Picture or video with you wearing it. I'll be like,
yeah. Okay. I actually wore red to that workshop that we went to. So
you did. I remember that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think this is so great. So homework for you guys to share something that's maybe vulnerable, or push yourself to be more yourself, even if it's to strangers, and to see how that feels, and like maybe add it into your life, or just play around with it and have fun.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And like, dance. You're such an advocate of dance, and I love that. I'm always telling people to dance. I'm like, I know you probably do this. Like, I'm always like, just put music on at home and dance alone. Not that big of a deal. Like,
yes.
So you feel so much better.
Yes. So I wake up and I get stuck and I get fearful, and anxiety, and I have my to-do list that's like a fucking mile long. And what I've realized is the first step to getting in a better zone and to feel free and happy and more aligned is the first step is to turn on a tune that I know I just can't not dance to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not. So like one of
Love it.
them, you guys can look it up. Maybe I'll even put a link in, is Coco by Black Caviar. And I just can't not dance to it because it's just like so loud and rambunctious and sassy. And so I turn it on, and that's the first step. You don't think of that you have to dance, but you turn it on. And then the next step, you just naturally like just do it. And then you like let your body like let it out and let your emotions out. And then I did that literally today before our podcast. I was feeling all like, "Rah." And then I did that and I was like, oh, I'm pumped up. Like, this is going to be a fun podcast. And then it was like, the energy is good. Like, we're high vibe. It's flowing. Like, do that every day.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to use that song.
Yes. And tag me. Share it on Instagram and tag me and hashtag dance party, like on your story, and tag me. And then I'll do another one because it just changes your mindset, your whole alignment and joy. And when you're in joy, you are more productive and you're more happy, and everything is just better.
And you know, I feel like, I mean, you probably, I'm preaching to the choir saying this to you, but like dance has been turned so dirty sometimes, especially with women. Like, we're taught that it's wrong. You're moving your body too sexy. Like, what are you giving off? What is that? But if like there was a man dancing with us, well, then it's beautiful and it's tasteful for a couple, you know? And it's like, it's so annoyed with that because I'm like, no, it's self-expression.
Yes.
We are allowed to feel that emotion and that feeling of sex. Like, sexiness is not to be interpreted as negative or manipulative or wrong or like something that you use to get something. Like, no, sex is actually just the expression of yourself and like your expression of love if you're like in having sex with someone else. Do you know what I mean? But like when you're just feeling sexy, that has nothing to do with anything negative or shameful. And I just hate that society's putting that on women. And like, I love to see women like you put stuff up like this because it's like, we're reminding everyone like our bodies are not to be embarrassed, you know, and our bodies are beautiful. We're supposed to move in them.
Oh, I'm so glad you added that. That's literally what I'm going to be sharing more and more into my life and my business. And I'm a speaker for women and empowerment. And that is one of the key points that I want to touch on is, and our sexiness, our body, our expression is just being fully expressed. And that does not make us ask for anything or deserve anything or say that we're asking for something. So I've always been like, this is me. I'm sexy. I'm fierce. I'm fun. I love it. This makes me feel happy and free and powerful. And so that's why I do it. And so I love that you brought that up because it needs to be shared. And I'm going to continue to share this because it's part of us, and society is wrong. It is. Like, we're women, we're beautiful, we're sexy beings, and being expressed is just powerful. And
so true.
I'm going to do my workshops. I don't know when, but like that connecting to that inner goddess and that sexuality and that love. I don't know the how yet, but I'm going to do it soon. It's birthing. It's coming to place. It's going to happen.
Today it started a little. It's just like, now you're putting it out there and everyone's going to hear it.
Yes. So maybe in the future, if you guys click the links in the bio, maybe there'll be a workshop to join.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. You guys, it's getting out of the how and just taking the next steps. Literally today, I brainstormed, like, what is my business shifting? I wrote ego dance workshops, sexual goddess, badass queen, fully expressed, powerful. And then that's literally what we talked about today. Like,
I love
You
it.
don't know the how.
You don't know the how. You just go.
You just keep like brainstorming and take those next actions, and it literally, it does come together. It does.
As long as you're being authentic, because
Yep.
like you're being authentic to everything you love, right? And you wrote all
Yep.
that, had this conversation.
Yep.
It's just authenticity. If you were pushing your old business stuff, would we have talked about that today? No.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly.
I love this. This is so serendipitous, or whatever the word is.
Oh, that's the word. I was like,
Cool. Yes. So you guys, go ahead, tag us if you post something that's like fully free. What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is natcat, so it's NATT_CATT. And follow me if you want to like look. I post a lot of stuff about astrology. I post horoscopes. I write horoscopes. Post a lot of love stuff. You got questions? And then I do give like random free readings sometimes if you check out my stories. So like if you like reply in time, then I'll give you like a free reading. So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. So do the things, you guys. Go follow her, and I will have her links to her YouTube video and her Instagram in the bio of this episode. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me be sexy with you.
Yes.